You caught me with my earphones out then, didn't you? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Transfer Exchange Show, Transfer Roundup. Thanks for joining me tonight. Thank you for dragging yourself away from your Champions League football, dragging yourself away from your dinners. Maybe you're still eating your dinners. You know, why not? Why not? But one thing I can tell you, you're definitely in the right place tonight for the next half an hour, because we've got some fantastic breaking stories for you. Some news that's happened during the day that you haven't seen on Twitter, on Facebook, anywhere else. So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into it. Let's get into it. First of all, this isn't so much some transfer news, but something that could very much lead to some transfer news, and it's to do with Jack Grealish. Jack Grealish of Manchester City. We've been told today that he doesn't actually get on with Pep. We've seen that he hasn't played that much this season, and we're definitely not seeing the Jack Grealish of the one that we see at Villa, the happy, the smiley Jack Grealish. So when this story was told to me today, it wasn't too much surprising. But Jack is very, very unhappy at Man City. He's not getting on. This season he's played 18 games for Manchester City. He scored 2 goals and 3 assists. So nothing like his Villa form. Jack played in the 2-1 defeat against RB Leipzig last night, with goals from Andre Silva and Dominic Szoboszlai. Once Arsenal targets, we'll be coming to them a little bit later, and a consolation goal for Riyad Mahrez. Now, Jack Grealish literally doesn't get on with Pep Guardiola. Now, the little bit of a caveat to add to this story is that what we've been told today is that Pep could leave at the end of the season. Now, this might not surprise you, and you may have heard this before, but you haven't heard this before. You haven't heard this before. And it's never been as strong as it's been today. You get a feeling when you're talking to people. You talk to one person, they'll give you a bit of information, and then you may not hear nothing else. But when you start hearing it again and again and again, and you start hearing it from 3 or 4 different people, you know there's something in it. Pep could leave this season. His brother, Per, who is his agent, is in the US this week, and he is talking to MLS clubs. One of the clubs that he will be talking to will be New York City Football Club. It won't be a surprise to anybody. But yeah, I mean, look, it's one to keep an eye on. And as for Jack Grealish, is his time up already? He's just signed this season, 100 million. He's got a contract now to 2027. Could they get the money back on Jack Grealish? Are they willing to cut ties so quickly? If Pep leaves at the end of the season, is the relationship between them two maybe something to do with Jack Grealish's form? And if Pep leaves and another manager comes in, then maybe he'll be somewhere close to the player that we used to see at Aston Villa. So there's a lot of questions to be answered there, and it's definitely one that we need to keep an eye on. But I mean, not only is Jack Grealish not happy, I mean, the fans are not happy with Jack Grealish. I've spoken to a few fans today, and they literally want him out of the club. and there are 3 or 4 very well-known Manchester City fans who have said that. Fans that you would say that are in the know, or close, to the people to the players, and these people are saying that they don't want Jack Grealish at the club. So it's definitely one that we've got to keep an eye on. So make sure you do that. Next one we're going to go on to Chelsea, and we're going to go on to an ex-Chelsea player, and that ex-Chelsea player is Eden Hazard. He's 30 years old now. His contract, I think it ends in 2024, if my head serves me right. But he's just not hit it off at Real Madrid ever since he's gone there. His poor form, combined with a lack of, not a lack, but he's injuries, too many injuries for a player of his sort of standard, and now he's struggling to get in the team. Vinicius Junior now he's on fire, isn't he? And there's a new contract being talked about with Vinicius Junior at the moment that's going to tie him up at Real Madrid for at least the next 5-6 years. So that tells you that he plays in the same position as Eden Hazard. So that's going to tell you that Eden Hazard, is surplus to requirements and he will be moved on. Now, I can tell you that Eden Hazard has been offered to Chelsea. He's been offered to Chelsea for a cut price, £23 million. Will Chelsea have him back? £23 million is a very cheap price. Very cheap indeed. And let's just click this over and we'll carry on. Yeah, it's a very cheap price, 23 million. So will they take the chance on him? 30 years old, as we've already said. Injuries, but sometimes injuries can play with your mind, and that's why you get injuries. If he goes back to Chelsea, maybe he'll start to play again. Maybe they're off again. Maybe we'll see the Hazard of old, because we definitely haven't seen it at Real Madrid. So, yeah, he's lost his place to Vinicius. He's not going to get that place back. He plays out on the left there. So, Eden Hazard, 23 million. Will Chelsea take it? Again, it's something that we've got to wait and see. We're going to go on now from one side of Spain to the other. We're going to go from Real Madrid. We're going to go to Barcelona. And we're going to talk about someone who, again, was bought not too long ago. And that player is Sergiño Dest. Now, Xavi is giving Sergiño Dest, what we've been told earlier this week, 2 or 3 weeks to get his act together. He's not doing it in training. He's not looking bothered. And at this moment, he's not in Xavi's plans, to go forward. And it just doesn't see, if he doesn't see that improvement, he will move him on as soon as January. So, it's such a sad. Sometimes it's if your face don't fit or you're not happy with a certain place. I thought he was a bit of a strange move when he first went to Barcelona. I mean, he's young. He was at Ajax. He was flying. It seemed a big move for me to go to Barcelona, and I think that's sort of coming sort of true now, that I think he could have made the wrong move, and he's just again not happy there. And what Xavi will do, he'll use Dani Alves, who is they brought back to the club, legend, sensational footballer, and they'll use him until the end of the season. And again, adding on to the top of this story, they have already agreed a deal with Chelsea's Cesar Azpilicueta for next summer. The player, like I said, he's already agreed terms on the basis that if Dest don't buck his ideas up, that's if you look from Chelsea's side, You're looking at Reece James. Chelsea are looking at getting a new centre-halves in. So, again, you look at the stories, you put 2 and 2 together, and they come to 4, and you can see that the season time at Chelsea is becoming, coming to an end. And also on top of that, going back to Madrid, back to Chelsea, we seem to be talking about the same 2 teams at the moment. Madrid now favourites to sign Rudiger from Chelsea. We've heard that today from the Athletic. The defender is out of contract to the end of the season, while talks with Chelsea have stalled. And again, this isn't the first time they've stalled. It's about the third or fourth time now, and it doesn't look like they're going to come to an agreement. And I think you'll find that unless something very, a twist happens back at Chelsea, then I think you'll probably find that Antonio Rudiger will be a Madrid player either in January or the summer. So, but that will all depend on whether Chelsea can get a defender. They've been looking at Jules Koundé. They was looking at Simon Kujar. Again, someone we're going to go to talk about in a minute. Simon Kujar's been injured, so they've had to step back from that. They was looking at Saul from Bayern Munich. They're out there, they're looking. So that takes you back to the Rudiger story. It tells you that these stories are true and there's something in it. And Rudiger is on his way. Too many contracts now that he's turned down. Next one, we're going to go to the other side of London. And what we're going to do, we're going to talk about a left side who's playing left-sided forward at the moment. It's Lille's Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez has been linked with Arsenal now for quite a while. 24-year-old, very strong player, good player. Contracted now until 2023. The Lille midfielder has said that he's already said that he's open to a move to Arsenal. He said that he will go to Arsenal. He has been quite vocal in that, and so he mentioned AC Milan as well. They're looking at him, and that might be a worry for the Gunners if they actually want the player, because when you put the 2 clubs together at the moment, you look at AC Milan as sitting top of the Serie A at the moment, flying high, virtually assured of Champions League football next season. So that could be a problem. Lille was sitting in 11th at the moment. Sanchez is playing well, but he's in. I think he's in the wrong side, and Lille will struggle this season to get into Europa League places. Arsenal are probably in a better place than Lille are, and it's definitely one to keep an eye on. And as I said, he's been playing sort of left of forward at the moment, up there up front alongside Jonathan David, who's another player that's been linked with Arsenal. Another player who's been very vocal by saying that he wants to come to Arsenal. A player who last season was pretty assured that he was going to be an Arsenal player until something happened at the last minute, and he never went, and the player was gutted. And he was vocal in saying that he was gutted. He came out in the newspapers and he was saying how everybody that he wanted to go to Arsenal. It's his boyhood club. Funny feeling that ship has sailed now. And there's some more Arsenal news coming up a bit later, which if you're an Arsenal supporter, don't go nowhere. Just stay here. Stay here with whoever you support, but especially an Arsenal fan. We're going to go on now to Liverpool. And AFCON's coming up, and they're losing quite a few players. And Liverpool will need to replace those players if they want to keep that momentum going to win the league this season. So the man that they want is Rafinha. Rina, Brazilian international. At the beginning of the season, Jurgen Klopp wanted to bring him in. But the simple answer why he didn't come was because literally the price was too high. And people say it was too much. I think it was around about 75 million at the time. But I say, why not? Why not? It's not often that you get a player. Leeds haven't had a player of Rafinha's class for a long time. So when you get a player, an asset, if you want to call him an asset, you want big money for them, and I don't blame them. And if it was my club, I would understand. I would want big money. It's very similar to the Declan Rice situation at West Ham when there was £100 million put on his head, and that was to fend off Chelsea and Manchester United, or they hope that it will fend them off. But Rafinha's agent Deco, he has confirmed talks with Liverpool, and he also has said that Rafinha is happy at Leeds. But his words, I'll read you his words. But my client will want to develop his career at a bigger club, and you can't get more than that. And when you say that he's confirmed the talks with Liverpool, and he comes out with that quote afterwards, it tells you that you've got to keep your eye on this one for January. Talks have happened with this one. Very, very similar to the one that we're going to be talking about very soon. Talks have already happened. So again, Rafinha could be January. Liverpool hope it's January. They want it to be January because they need him in January because of AFCON. So let's wait and see what happens there. He's an excellent player. Right. Let's go on to Arsenal. Let's go on to Arsenal. And the main talk about Arsenal at the moment is the Arsenal forward striker situation. Names been mentioned. Dusan Vlahovic has been mentioned. He's been saying that he knows that there's been offers from Arsenal. He knows that they've offered the right money for Arsenal, the big money. It shows that Arsenal, are willing to put the money down on the table. But it doesn't look like Dusan Vlahovic wants to come. He's got other ideas, other places he wants to go. He wants to play Champions League football. And even if you're the ardent of Arsenal fans, you would not say that Arsenal are going to get Champions League football this year. We've just mentioned earlier Jonathan David, another player. I mean, that one is maybe the ship sailed, that one. I think if Arsenal would have wanted him, they would have got him last season. So, So I think that one's sailed. We've had Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured at the moment, plays for Everton. It's going to take a lot of money to prize Dominic Calvert-Lewin away. It certainly wouldn't be in January, and Arsenal need a player in January. So that is still a possibility that could happen in the summer. I can tell you there has been interest for Arsenal, and there has been early talks with Everton over that. We know there's a lot of money. They're asking around about 75 million for the player. But today we've heard some big news in regards to Arsenal. Arsenal have flew out to complete the signing of Juventus forward Dusan Kulusevski. Juventus want 34 million. Arsenal are prepared to pay 30. 23 plus 7 million in add-ons. The kid that has been touted or said as the new Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, this one is, well, from what I told, he's getting very, very close to being done. 21 years old, very good player. Can't get in the Juventus side at the moment, but on his day, an absolute quality forward. Is he the one Arsenal need? I don't think he's the one that probably Arsenal needs as like just the one. They certainly need the two, and I think it could be a good thing when you look at this, because you think, well, there's no way that they're just going to buy him. So I can pretty much assure you that there will be 2 strikers coming in at Arsenal, one in January. But it's been all over the place today about Kulusevski. The people I've been speaking to are all saying it's pretty close to being done. It's not done yet, people. It's not done yet. There's still a little bit of a, disagreement over the price, where they're trying to come to a conclusion between the two. But this one could be Arsenal's first striker signing. So Arsenal fans, put in the comments, if people watching on Twitter, tell us what you think. Dusan Kulusevski. Arsenal people flew out there today trying to tie up this deal. So as soon as I get any information, I'll certainly pass it on. But that's all we know at the moment. That he could be definitely Arsenal's their first signing of the January transfer window. Hopefully, there's more. We go on now. We go on to Newcastle. I mean, they've been Newcastle have been linked with probably everybody, haven't they? And everybody and nobody, if you like, and because it's people ain't turning them down. It's you hear rumours about Mbappe's and Haaland's and Valovic's, and these players ain't going to go to Newcastle. But one person that they have been linked with is Sven Botman, a 21-year-old, another player from Lille. They do bring him on in Lille. They must have a very good sort of academy at Lille, because they're really sort of producing a lot of good players. And but Sven Botman, he's contracted at Lille until 2025, so he'll cost a few quid. He'll cost. And Newcastle have made him their number one defensive target in January, and they're not looking so much for forwards. So any links or anything you hear out there, people on the socials or in the net, without me telling you, then look for the defensive news, because that's where Newcastle are looking. That's where their problems lie. That's where Eddie Howe feels that Newcastle's problems lie. So, but unfortunately for Newcastle, sources in Italy are telling me that AC Milan have made Botman also their number one choice. After the injury to Danish international Simon Kujar. Remember earlier I was telling you about Simon Kujar and that he was a target, but he's obviously injured now, and they need someone to come in, and they need someone to replace him quickly. And look, they were looking to bring him in last summer, but now because of the injury to Kujar, the green light has been given to go and bring him in straight away. So it's could be another one that Newcastle will lose out on, and I think they may have to look at players a little bit, lower down the tiers, and before they start trying to get players of quality like that. Now we're going to go on to West Ham. And you think I'm going to say Jesse Lingard, don't you? But I'm not going to say Jesse Lingard. I'm not going to say any forwards, because West Ham ain't looking for a forward. I heard in a week from a very good friend, very good source, that West Ham were now looking for defenders, and David Moyes has come out today, and he's confirmed that they were looking for defenders, but now they're looking for defenders. And West Ham are now considering a move for Manchester City's Nathan Ake. With injuries to Kurt Zuma, I mean, he got a hamstring against Chelsea, and then and Angelo Ogbonna ruled out now. He's out for the whole season. Defence is a major worry now for West Ham, and they need to look at that first before they even think about up front. They're fine up front. You know, we see at the weekend, we see Bowen, we see Antonio Lanzini. They've got more than enough firepower up front, but they're definitely, you know, in a bit desperate now to bring a defender in. And Nathan Ake could be that man from Manchester City. It would be for a loan. It would be for a year. Ake, good player. I don't think any of us would doubt that. Very good player, very cultured player, a lot of ability. But the only thing is, he's only had 3 starts this season. And he is open to leave Man City on loan for game time, first team football, and go to the London Stadium, and it makes sense. So yeah, Nathan Ake, good player. I think he'll do good at West Ham, and he may even be one of these people you could end up, you know, buying at the end of it, because when he comes back to City, Nathan Ake, I mean, he's got some competition there, isn't he, to try and get back into that Man City side. They've got, you know, Diaz and Stones. I mean, that's just for starters, isn't it? I mean, and you know, and another one's just mine's just going to blank at the minute, but it's he could have trouble, and I think a club like West Ham would suit Nathan Ake down to the ground. I think it would be an excellent buy. So look, that's everything. There's some big stories there, especially the one about the Arsenal with Dujan Kulusevski. I won't be finishing work after this. I'll be chasing up that to try and get some news on it and to see where it is, so we can get it on the page for you. But look, please like, please subscribe, follow our Twitter page at the TransferX. You'll see all the transfer news on there and much more. Stories, there's competitions now. We did a competition today. Plenty of stuff going on. Plenty of massive guests coming on soon. So, you know, please, you know, support the channel, because the more support we got, the better it is. And it's Christmas, isn't it? You know, it's Christmas. So, you know, that's what more of a reason do you need? So yeah. So anyway, look, thanks for joining me tonight. You can go now back and watch your dinner. I hope you think you've been watching it. It's been worth it. There's some big news there. There's some big breaking stories. So we're going to get them up on the page very soon. And until next time, peace out. Stay safe, and just make sure you wash your hands.